sky full of like a
Thank you for watching my video, and please remember to support me by subscribing to my channel. Your support is what motivates me to make more informative and interesting videos. Until then, see you in the next video. Thank you for watching my video, and please remember to support me by subscribing to my channel. Your support is what motivates me to make more informative and interesting videos. See you in the next video.
This one is for you and me living out our dreams. We're all like where we should be with mine. It's for you and me living out our dreams. We're all like where we should be with mine. This one is for you and me living out our dreams. We're all like where we should be with mine. I might like to move it, I like to move it, I like to move it, we like to move it, fine, open my eyes and now I wanna see just a full of lighters, the sky full of like a
各位观众朋友，今天我要向大家介绍一样东西。首先，我们将带你深入国际媒体市场，通过统计数据揭示出色的足球文化。这些数据来自各大媒体的报道，涵盖了球队的历史战绩、球员的个人数据以及球队之间的最终结果。这些统计数据将为您提供一个全面的了解，帮助您把握比赛的大势与趋势。然而，我们并不仅仅满足于传统的统计数据。我们的系统分析团队还深入研究了更为独特的指标和度量分析。通过综合考虑各种因素和关键要点，我们的系统生成了独特的数据指标，从而提供了更全面、更准确的比赛分析。然而，这些指标涵盖了球队的技术水平、阵容调整、场上表现以及未来赛事的预测。通过这些独特的度量分析，我们能够更好地洞察比赛的本质和关键因素。我们将结合国际媒体市场的统计数据和我们独
Burnley are bolstered by Aaron Ramsey. He's on the bench today, but he made the permanent switch to Burnley this week as he wants to start strongly this Premier League season. He's back with a vengeance, netting 3 of his last 4 goals in the 15 minutes following half-time, so he could see an end to the fray at the break. Fresh off the back of a midweek hat-trick, Ollie Watkins will be hopeful he can get back on the goal trail here, given he scored on his last 2 visits to Turf Moor. The hot stat: Burnley have conceded at least twice in 7 of their last 9 Premier League home games. So they need to shore up that defence if they're going to take it to Aston Villa today. We'll take you through the starting 11s shortly. So a poor record at home in the last 9 Premier League outings. Let's see if they can reverse that trend. Vincent Kompany getting them promoted. They're missing Obafemi Zaruri with a red card, and Churlinov is out, the Macedonian. Some omissions for Villa as we're almost set to go. Is Moreno, Mings, Hauser, De Donker, Coutinho and Buendia, and Martinez, the goalkeeper, is not available either, but they've got a new signing. The Italian Nicolo Zaniolo has made his way over from Galatasaray, and he will start from the bench today as we're underway. Aston Villa going from left to right in the first half. They're in their traditional home strip, but they are looking to get on the board early, as they did against Everton, with McGinn and his side footer for that penalty from Douglas Luiz. Olsen, he's in goal today for Villa. The away side will take you through that 11. They're named with a 3-4-2-1, and Unai Emery can switch between his formations so regularly throughout the game, so that formation and the shape will change. Pau Torres, Diego Carlos and Konsa at the back, Digne on the left. Matty Cash plays his 100th game in all competitions for Aston Villa today in his 4th year. Came over from Nottingham Forest in 2019. 26-year-old Pole. Congratulations to him. Boubacar Kamara and Douglas Luiz are the 2 central midfielders. Moussa Diaby, the club record signing, will support Ollie Watkins and John McGinn in attack. It is 0-0 in the first couple of minutes. As for Burnley, sent out by Vincent Kompany with a 4-2-3-1. James Trafford, the Euro #21 winner in the summer, is in goal, as Villa now have to defend against the Clarets in that blue shorts and the blue sleeves. The long ball out from Olsen. It's headed down by Delcroix, who makes his debut in the starting 11, the 24-year-old Belgian. 6 years at Anderlecht, never scored for the senior side. And he's on the left side of defence. Connor Roberts on the right side. Amin Al-Dakil and Dara O'Shea, the 2 centre-halves. Lyle Foster and Sander Berger in the middle, with Benson, Hedilazio, Josh Cullen and Luca Coleosho. A 3-pronged wing attack, and Cullen should play behind Zeki Amdouni. Vincent Kompany saying that even though they lost heavily to City, most teams usually do, they were able to remain as themselves and aggressively ask questions of City that day, even though they did concede 3 times. Aston Villa always going to be a big test, he said pre-match. And it's Villa looking to defend. It'll be taken down easily enough. Maybe a mix-up at the back. The ball played out by Dakil from the goalkeeper Trafford. looking a little nervy. Dekil will go back to him. Big turnout here. And Turf Moor in their first Premier League game, looking for some kind of result against a Villa side many predict to finish in the top 8 at the very least. They are in the midst of qualification for the Conference League. An unassailable league, you would think, at 5-0 and away win over Hibernian. Ollie Watkins off the mark in his season with a hat-trick, but still hasn't scored in the Premier League. This is his third start of the season. 15 goals last term and 6 assists. Both managers out on the sideline. It's an overcast day, as it usually is at this time. This part of England, north. And it's Burnley going down the left side. Koleosho dances through. Lovely ball to put through the number 17, Lyle Foster. Out to the left. They can knock this ball in, but it's well defended by Konsar. Burnley will have the throw on the far side. They are going from left to right in this half. Koleosho, the teenager, who can represent one of 4 countries. It's actually going to be a corner here. It's the ball deviated out. Some nice spin on it, an in swinger or an off spinner, if you know the cricket vernacular. So this will be a corner for Burnley, left side of the pitch, and it comes. Not enough depth on the ball. Koleosho tried to head it back. Villa looking to break. Now there's some real danger here as Diaby is away. Just has to beat one defender. Goes for the shot on the left boot. Well defended. And it was O'Shea getting back to make sure Trafford didn't have to make a save. That is how perilous Villa can be on the counter. Everybody pushed up for Burnley. Now Villa with a high line. A dangerous high line, I must add there. Ball settled down by Digne. In the middle with Douglas Lewis, and this is where Villa will try and get a stranglehold on the match early on. 7 minutes in, 0-0 at Turf Moor. Pau Torres came over from Villarreal to Aston Villa in the summer. Spanish international was linked with a move to Napoli. He's chosen life in the Premier League. He's in for another game early here in the season after 34 games in La Liga. That was last term. He was a Villarreal youth player, spent some time at Malaga. Only a habit in their own half. Just looking for an option. 3-pronged defence at the moment. The ball with Al-Dakhil. Back for O'Shea. He'll try and go long over the top. Koleosho is earmarked for him. From the defensive header that will settle down on the right side for Benson Edilazio, the Belgian. One of 3 in the starting lineup today for Vincent Kompany, who is a Belgian coach. 89 caps and 4 goals for his country. A delightful lofted ball over the top. Aston Villa coming, and Aston Villa scoring. Lovely cutback. And it is Matty Cash in his 100th game for his club to celebrate with a goal at the far post. Again, Burnley caught off guards, and Villa strolling down with the ball over the top. Ollie Watkins involved. It is Burnley 0, Aston Villa 1, 8th minute of play. Burnley undone. Simple football as well. McGinn over the top for Watkins. Set him a task on the left side. Got into the half space, into the box. Trafford came off his line. Watkins chipped it over the top. Was off target, but Matty Cash appearing from nowhere at the back post, in from the left to the right, and it was Delcroix who was nowhere to be seen. Neither Connor Roberts, the Welsh defender. Unai Emery celebrates a goal within the first 10 minutes here at Turf Moor. Villa looking for the second win consecutive, and Watkins might not have a goal in this season, but he supplied one for his teammate who was passing a massive milestone. Now Burnley from the kickoff. Accurate long ball that was about 50 metres pinged down into the right channel. Vincent Hedilazio will hold it up. He looks for Al-Dakhil inside. He'll find Berger and Foster. The ball will be switched out to Delcroix. The run was made. It was Berger getting into space. Didn't go to him though. Foster now out on the left. Koleosha wants to find half a yard inside one man. Shoots. And it's well over the top, but Luka Koleosha showing that he's quite electric once he makes a decision. Went inside, back towards the goal from the left. That is Burnley's first effort, not on goal, but over the top from the 18-year-old that could represent one of the USA, Canada, I think it's Croatia as well, and Italy. Spent a couple of years with Espanyol, 5 appearances in the senior side and a goal. It was at the end of the La Liga season. Big raps on him. Spent some time with a couple of different nations, playing in the under-20s and under-18 setups. Vincent Kompany sees a lot of potential in him. Said before the game they have to be at their best to cause problems, and he believes that Burnley can hurt their opponents, but they have taken a blow early on. – 11 minutes gone. The win percentage is now 67% for Villa, 12% for Burnley, 21% for a draw. Villa leads by a goal to nil. They had possession on the halfway line. Diego Carlos out for Konsa down the right wing, just maintaining it, forcing for in a line for Burnley to try and press. Delcroix, the Belgian left back, can't take the ball away from Watkins. Now back for Konsa, working well in tandem, back in for Diego Carlos, 30-year-old Brazilian, in his second season since leaving Sevilla. Now the ball will be spread out to the left side. Digne cuts it back again, up and away by Sander Berger. Burnley with some decision-making to do, looking to progress up the field. Good ball out from the back. Now to be intercepted again by Cullen. Spread out by Berger. Sets a task for Delcroix. Has Koleosha wide on the left. They get into the attacking half. He's up against Cash. And then it's also Douglas Luiz that comes over to tighten up the spaces. Burnley will switch play. Al-Dakhil, another Belgian, in his second season. Played 8 times for Burnley last season, now in for his second of the current campaign. Koleosha, good ball in over the heads of the number 17, Lyle Foster, the South African. Koleosha looks like he's been able to free himself up on occasion. Villa doing well to mark out the likes of Amdouni. Therefore it leaves a little bit of space between the lines for Luka Koleosha. Throw in for Villa. Digne to take. We'll find Pau Torres all the way back in their own penalty box. Robin Olsen in goal, just as a reminder. No Martinez. So Burnley have set up camp about 10 yards outside Olsen's penalty box. Just wanting the Swedish goalkeeper to go over the top. He started his career with Malmo in the south of Sweden before heading off to Italy with Cagliari and Roma. wound up with Everton and Sheffield United now. Backup keeper with Aston Villa. He's got a job to do. So far hasn't been forced into a save. Koleosho can get the long ball that Olsen hit down the pitch and settle it down. It's with O'Shea. Two Irishmen in this starting 11 for Burnley. Del Cryer back for O'Shea. Trying to play a 3-2-5. Burnley are company with Guardiola's methods well. When in possession, go to the 3-2-5. Now the long ball comes and Duni chests it down. It's back for Hedi Lazio. Now they go to the right sides. Roberts in possession, the Welsh defender, starting it right back for Burnley. And ship that off to O'Shea. Out for Del Cryer, who's high up. Crowded spaces. Koleosho gets it, hugging the left touchline. Chips the ball over the top. This might sit for Foster. Koleosho back to get it. He can't find space to shoot from long range. So now it's out to the right side with Benson Hedi Lazio. Digne comes. Changes. Oh, it's a lovely ball in. Good whip on that one. And it's just gone a little bit too quickly for the Burnley attackers to get there. Cullen and Amdouni were waiting in the middle. That'll go out for a goal kick, and showing they've got some quality on both wings. Burnley and Vincent Kompany. Now starting with a 4-2-3-1. Koleosho on the left and Benson Manuel Hedi Lazio, the Belgian, on the right side. Cullen behind Amdouni. Some decent players on the bench as well. Gudmundsson, Vitinho's there. Rune Larson, Brownhill, Cork, and Aaron Ramsey. The signing scored a glorious goal for his former club. He's come over from Norwich. Also some big news for Aston Villa fans. Signing of Nicolo Zaniolo, 24-year-old Italian, 5 goals with Galatasaray last season, and he spent 4 years in Rome. Into under 19 player. The arm wrestle here at Turf Moor so far is going to Villa. 1 goal to the goods, 17 minutes gone. Now to the right with Foster as Burnley look to attack. They are in the third, just need to knock it into the box. Amdouni awaits. Benson Hedi Lazio back for the number 14 Roberts. There's that inverted right back that's going into the centre to offer support as Berger heads up to make up the 5th attacker. And Villa will look to catch Burnley out here. They're back 3 up against Diaby and the fleet-footed Watkins. Vertical ball down the middle was aerial from Burnley as well, headed away by Diego Carlos. Out to the left they come. Koleosho now. Played an ambitious ball through, intended for, once again, it was Roberts in the middle. Now Villa trying to find some space and get out of jail. Coming back is Kamara. Douglas Luiz, the 2 operators in the middle. So the Brazilian pairing playing central roles, central defender and also central midfielder. Villa over the top. They go. Good header in defence. That's Cullen, who was back there to offer some support, wearing the number 24. Villa in possession in their own half, though. Burnley again with 3 in the high line, looking for an offensive turnover. Perhaps this is where Vincent Kompany's identified a potential weakness. Unai Emery's 11. Watkins now receives the pass straight down the guts. He'll lay that off. Now Diaby, the back heel for himself. It works out nicely though. Cash, the goal scorer here. Lovely turn by Kamara. Cash again. Looks for support. It's Konsa offering it. Back to the halfway. Villa in no rush. Looking for enough space to find Cash out on the right. Leaves it for Kamara. Wants to square it up. The shot, and another goal comes. That was beautifully worked. And again, it is the Polish right-sided defender with a brace in his 100th game. Can you believe this? Majestic from Aston Villa, who have worked their way through with a series of passes. Kamara and Cash were the instigators here, and Vincent Kompany's side is now reeling. Turf Moor silenced by the intricate, beautiful play. Cash received, he laid it off. It was squared back up for him. He hit it first time at the right post, about 8 yards out, and has smashed that past James Trafford. Nightmare beginning for Burnley FC here. Moussa Diaby, Kamara and Cash combining. This is the kind of football that we've come to know and love from Unai Emery. The villains, the Lions as they're known. They're definitely villains here today. Burnley, well, they are bleeding claret, I can tell you now. They have remained patient, but they have not been able to really launch anything at Robin Olsen's goal. Paradoxically, it's been all about Villa's passing game. Huge day from Matty Cash. 2 goals. Who would have thought before the game that he would be the prime candidate to get a brace? You're thinking Ollie Watkins. Also Diaby. Along those lines. Not a player like Matty Cash, who didn't score at all last season, but all of a sudden has 2. Best season with Nottingham was 6 goals, but those championship goals, not Premier League. Began his career with Dagon Reds, just on the outskirts of London. Joined the Nottingham under-23s, and since then hasn't looked back. 4 years in Nottingham, and this is now his 4th in Birmingham with Aston Villa. Both clubs playing in very similar home colours. So today, Villa in the white away from home here at Turf Moor. They lead by 2-0. Matty Cash with 2 really nicely worked efforts, and James Trafford has to ask more of his defenders. Villa have pinched it back again. McGinn, this time for Digne. Down the left they come. Lots of space. They allow him to come. He squares it up. Douglas Luiz will lay it off for Konsa to arrive. There's 4 in the box for Villa. The Burnley are pushing up. Now to Pau Torres. McGinn again out on the left. The switch play. A beautiful switch out to the right side for Cash. Can he get a hat-trick? They'll be willing him on. Konsa lays it back. Here's Pau Torres. Ball over the top. Digne's into the box, into the half space. Wants the cross. Good defending though. Desperation from Al Dakil to chop off the threat from Villa, who are looking for a 3rd goal in the opening 23 minutes. Cash in the 8th minute with the assist from Watkins at the back post, which is the right side. And then again, he scored at that same post in the 20th minute. There is another game going at this point. It's Sheffield United hosting Manchester City. Early substitution there with Larouci coming off for Osborne. So Villa with a corner. In from the left it comes. Glancing header. Goes over the top of goal. It was Diego Carlos coming up. But he got first to the ball. There were two Burnley players trying to get there. Koleosho was one. Almost smashed into each other. Big boy, Diego Carlos, 30-year-olds. Former Nantes player in France and Sevilla in La Liga. Burnley will have themselves a free kick. So that is 6 goals without reply now after Aston Villa's 4-0 win against Everton. And now 2 goals in the opening half against the Burnley side that were fired up before the match to get out there and give a good showing. 25th minute of the game. Later on we have Newcastle-Liverpool coming for you on Flash Score, an official coverage of the English Premier League. Villa again have swallowed it up in midfield. Out for Digne. Tries to go outside and then inside of Connor Roberts. This looks so organised with a coherent plan under Emery. Douglas Luiz. Out to the right side. Cash awaits. Wants to give and go with Diaby. What a find he's been since coming over from Bayer Leverkusen. Did score in the opening game. His debut against Newcastle. A tough game if you're a Villa supporter, with Tonali, Isaac with 2 and Barnes and Wilson on the score sheet. But Diaby was a flicker in the highlights reel, which was mainly black and white that day. Now Delcroix as Burnley have it at the back in their own half though. Central ball now for Roberts. He's playing that John Stones role. Not sure it's working out because when Villa get the ball in transition, they're able to find enough space to get it out to Cash or Digne. Burnley have it at the back still. Villa are happy to let them just pass around between the back three. Now they're forcing to go long and over the top. Digne wins the header. McGinn lets it run. Then he hooks the ball over the top for Watkins. He won't get there. And the header back will settle it down as Dara O'Shea finds James Trafford, former Bolton and Manchester City youth player. As I said at the top of the broadcast, James Trafford, part of the English Euro Under-21 Championship team. Big season for him if he manages to hold on to the starting goalkeeper's spot. It'll be a learning curve for him in his career. Now the ball over the top comes. Burnley. He sent it down towards Berger. He chested it down but then was outdone by Diego Carlos. Just when you think you're through, the big Brazilian defender comes across and takes it off you like candy from a baby. A few results yesterday in the Premier League. Saw Bournemouth go down at home at Vitality Stadium to Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham, the Australian coach, with 2 wins on the trot. Scored twice in each of the 3 games. 2-2 draw against Brentford on opening day, and then 2-0 win over Manchester United, then another one away at Bournemouth. Satisfactory beginning, 7 league points. Tottenham were on top for a little while. Now Burnley through Koleosho into the half space. He's about 10 yards away from Olsen's goal, but forced backwards and offside in the end. He's disappointed with the outcome. That's the way it crumbles sometimes. Arsenal and Fulham played out a 2-2 draw. There's Pereira to get Fulham off to a big start in the first minute. Saka from the spot and Nketiah made it 2-1. Bassi sent off, and then Palhinha made it 2-2. Fulham with an unlikely point at Emirates Stadium. Brentford and Palace with another London derby there. Sade and Anderson on the score sheets. 1-1. Everton losing at home to Wolves by a scoreline of 1-0. That was a late 87th minute winner for Kalajic. Manchester United doing it the hard way. 2-0 down against Forest with Awani and Bolly in the second and fourth minute. Incredibly, Eriksson pulled it back to 2-1 in the 17th. Casemiro made it 2-2, and Bruno Fernandes from the spot made it 3-2 with a quarter of an hour to go. So some relief there. Brighton surprised at home by decent looking West Ham side. Ward-Prowse scoring, Bowen and Antonio. A late goal for Gross, the German. Burnley coming forward again. Benson headed Lazio inside, and again there's a free kick going the way of Villa to relieve the little pressure that Burnley is applying. Villa won two of the past three here, back in 2022 and 2020. Burnley have only beaten Villa here once in the past 19 years. That was a 3-2 win in 2022. On the half-hour mark, it is Burnley 0, Aston Villa 2. Both goals from Matty Cash, if you just joined us. English-born Polish player. Now Benson Hedi Lazio again. Where's the number 10 for Burnley? Pushed back by Digne. Burnley pushed back into their own half. A very high line from Villa. Love to keep a high line where they've got three in the middle, spaced out about 10 metres apart. They're looking for the long ball over the top with all three central defenders for Villa in a backwards motion, but very organised. Standings at this point: West Ham and Tottenham and Manchester City with Arsenal on 7 points. Now a chance here for Burnley coming through, and it was Foster. Couldn't get on the end of a good pass. He managed to get it around Olsen, but I think there's an offside flag. Indeed there is. 31st minute, about to tick over into the 32nd. It's still 0-0 between Sheffield United and City, and it's disappointing for Burnley here. That was a fractional offside. Andini still with no chances on goal. Lyle Foster, the South African, looking for something. Scored one goal last season for Burnley. In his second season now. Spent some time in Belgium with Westerlo. Now Villa again on the counter. Out comes Trafford to get on the end of a long ball. Rolls it across, and it's a disoriented Burnley. They've had the ball taken away, but there's luckily for them, there's a free kick against Digne. As Al-Dakil brought it forward in his second season as well since leaving St. Truide. Vincent Kompany giving plenty of opportunities for the Belgian players to come over, but what a ball that was down the middle for Moussa Diaby. Out came Trafford. Some decent defending from Burnley. It was Hail Mary stuff, but they pulled it off. Matty Cash with a monumental game here. It's been outstanding on that right side. Koleosho trying to find his way through traffic. He was cordoned off. They've taken it off him. Double teams. Villa now under the pump as Burnley press forward with 6 players. Villa in their own defensive third. Digne forced backwards by Connor Roberts. Now a choice to make for Pau Torres. Finds Douglas Luiz. Cut off now. It's good work by Sander Berger. Burnley just need to strangle something out of Aston Villa here. They have been so tight. Perhaps a more attack-minded side would have tried something aerially over the top of this high line from Villa. They do not like to give their opposing teams much space. We saw them in the opening round concede 5 times. Roberts inbound again. First time ball over the top, intended for Lyle Foster. Everything going his way, and almost nothing going Zeki Amdouni's way. A Swiss striker in his first year since leaving Basel. 12 goals and 5 assists in 32 appearances. All the Swiss heavyweights. Got 11 minutes until the break, but haven't factored in added time. I'm not sure there's too much of it. Coutinho unavailable today, saying he's out with injury, but apparently he's agreed personal terms with the Qatari side Al Duhail. Be a big blow to lose him, but they do have Moussa Diaby for a club record of £47 million. Ollie Watkins with the assist for the opening goal. He scored the last 2 visits to Turf Moor. Now Villa will have a free kick. That foul's going against Benson. Still 2-0 for Villa. Both goals for Cash. Digne out on the left. Wants to hook the ball into the box. First time volley. He's taken a touch and gone over the top of goal. I think it's a corner kick for Aston Villa, and again it was Matty Cash like a magnet. He's attracting everything, including from the far side. Digne looking for his opposing winger. Cash on the left this time. We've seen him score twice on the right. James Trafford just making sure that goes over the top of the bar with a touch. This will be taken by John McGinn, Scotsman, former Hibernian player. He was part of the rout against his former side midweek in the Conference League qualifiers. And it comes to the near post. Ollie Watkins the target. And it's come off his head. And he is holding his head. The England international. It was fired in from McGinn. It's over the top of Roberts. It's ended up being a Burnley goal kick. Now Delcroix was settled down. O'Shea out for Al-Dakhil. Over the top they go. Olsen had to stand his ground despite the advances of Sunderberger, the Norwegian. Another big signing for Burnley in the summer. His first season here after 4 in Sheffield with United. 6 goals and 5 assists. Started off with Vålerenga in the Norwegian league before detouring through Belgium with Genk. 6 attempts from Aston Villa, 2 of them on target. 1 attempt from Burnley, that was Koleosho, that was well over the top, and now Villa have found space again. Cash dishes it off. Diaby tried to find a dangerous Ollie Watkins. Save from Trafford, who made himself big at the near post again. At the right post, if you're looking at the goal. Cash corralled into the corner. Lay it back for Konsar. Gets around Foster with ease. Back for Douglas Luiz. Now Olsen's out of his box. Aston Villa want to stretch the pitch. And he'll go straight down the middle. 70-metre clearance. Watkins gets ahead to it first and will bounce through to James Trafford. Route 1 if you've ever seen it. Vintage Premier League football. Shea. Also in his first season, the Irish defender. 37 appearances for West Brom. 2 goals and just the 1 assist. Was an under-23 player there. Now his chance in the Premier League. Well, they've kicked out here. That is Boubacar Kamara that's gone to ground. This will be the first yellow card of the game. It'll go to Amin Al-Dakil. Referee was only metres away. Boubacar got there first. The sliding challenge was clumsy from the Belgian defender. It's actually gone to Josh Cullen. So Douglas Lewis with the set piece. It's fairly central, but about 35 yards away from James Trafford's goal. Just one in the wall is Benson. Everybody forward for Villa. Still 0-0. Sheffield United City. In it comes. And it's headed away by Burnley. It's back for Boubacar. Kamara out to the left for Digne. Villa regain their shape. He's received a shove in the back from Foster, who's muscled his way to win that ball and wins the free kick. Stunning work by the South African midfielder. Started off with Orlando Pirates. But the one positive moment for James Trafford in this half is the save to deny Ollie Watkins from about 4 yards. As soon as Watkins had hit the ball with his right boot, it's gone about half a metre after that straight into the chest of James Trafford. So that'll be a confidence booster. Just going to the flash score stats. You can see this on the app or the website. The XG for Burnley is 0.01. That is something that Vincent Kompany has to rectify. For Villa, it's 1.41. Burnley with a majority of possession, 57%, but 8 attempts from Villa. Just the one from Koleosho for Burnley. And the corner kicks, it's a couple for Villa and just the one for the home sides. 1 yellow card. It's arrived just a couple of minutes ago for Cullen. Irish attacker, attacking midfielder, started in London with Charlton. He's also been through Anderlecht, and Vincent Kompany knows him all too well from there. Kompany coaching the Belgian club from 2020 to 22. With a 46% win percentage there in 92 games. 42 wins, that's the main thing. Drew 32 times and lost just 18. Now Roberts for Burnley. Al-Dakir. Square it up to Delcroix, about 40 to 50 yards away from Robin Olsen's goal. Now Koleosho. Just a dull last 20 minutes from Burnley as they just look to contain Villa. Zeki Amdouni still hardly with a touch in this opening half. Not too many teams played this kind of high line. It is ridiculously high. Something that we would see in some of the European leagues. And obviously Unai Emery favours it whenever he can play it. But with the 2-0 leads, some of the Aston Villa bench players would be rubbing their hands at the opportunity to get something, get some minutes, and Nicolo Zaniolo will be one of those. Yuri Tillemans can't make a starting 11. Duran is also another possibility, the young Colombian. Forwards. Now Burnley come for some space here. Finally, the shot will come. And Olsen forced to tip that over the top of goal. I think he's got a touch on that, the Swedish keeper. Something, finally, for the Burnley striker Zeki Amdouni, who was able to beat one defender, find space about 20 yards away from goal. just outside of the right post. He has driven that, and I don't think Olsen's got a touch. But they have finally brought some emotion out of the home crowd here at Turf Moor. And he's looking for his first Premier League goal, the Swiss striker. Now Villa through Douglas Lewis, spears a pass through towards Watkins, can't get a foot to the ball. Such was the magnitude of the pace. Through to Trafford, instantly rolls that down out for Del Croix now. Just a breakdown in communication between he and Koleosho, but that may have come off a Villa player. I think Konsar might have the throw though. I think the linesman's ruled this is going the way of the Villains. To the final minute of the first half. Don't think there'd be more than 2 or 3 minutes maximum of added time. It's been no drinks breaks. It's not hot at all in this part of England. It's a grey old day, but fortunately no rain. Burnley down the left, can't get out of their own half. Laid off back inside for Kamara. Douglas Lewis, back to Kamara, the 1-2 in between 3 Burnley players, now out for Diaby on the right wing, getting closer to Trafford's goal. Nearly an error there from Diego Carlos. Villa now going back into their own half to create a little bit more space. It's like a piano accordion, the way that they play, the harmony and rhythm. 3 minutes of stoppages. Robin Olsen will go long. At the right side for Cash. He headers that on towards Diaby. Chopped off though by Dara O'Shea. Burnley coming forward with 30 seconds gone of added time. Villa back with it. Cash, the player of the day. Lays it off centrally for McGinn. Ships it square out to the left side. Pau Torres. Digne. Frenchman to the Spaniard. Digne once again receives out wide on the left. Now McGinn. Can't really see anything he likes in front of him. So Villa go out to the right side. Spread the play evenly between a lot of their players positionally. Diego Carlos with the ball through. Ends up with Digne again. 2 in the box for Villa. One of them is McGinn, wants to square it up. And the chest and the hook away by Sunderberg. Was in the perfect place. He knew exactly where the cutback was going to go. Now it's Foster. Had 3 players on it. Had to go backwards. O'Shea now for Burnley. Just at a walking pace. They'll be happy to get through to the half-time break without conceding again. Koleosho, though, will get it forward to Foster. And Dooney now trudges in to a central area, but it's towed away by Pau Torres. Had to get himself between 2 Burnley attackers, but did so sensationally well. Unwavering defence from Aston Villa. Now Koleosho again, the Italian teenager. His cross only as far as McGinn. Watkins comes back very deep. Gets past Connor Roberts quite easily. That surely is a yellow card as Watkins is dragged out. So not the ending that Vincent Kompany wanted to the half. With just 30 seconds remaining of added time. Something unnecessary, but it's gone to Sunderberger for the pull down. And with this free kick, that is the end of the first half here at Turf Moor. It is Burnley that trail by 2-0. The man of the moment is Matty Cash, the boy that started off with Dag and red in his 100th appearance for Aston Villa. Marks it with a brace in the first 20 minutes of the game. Both scored at the right post. Big day for the Villains. We'll be back in about 10 to 12 minutes with the commencement of the second half here in Burnley. Back here at Turf Moor for the initiation of the second half. It's Villa that leads by 2-0. And Burnley get us going. They're going from right to left. The long ball almost instantly out towards Koleosho. Will bounce directly out without anyone touching it. It'll be a throw with Konsar. But Vincent Kompany looks as though he had made a change. 2 yellow cards for them in the first half. Cullen and Berger late on in that first half, but it was early in the half where Matty Cash delivered the double blow. 2 goals for him in his 100th appearance for Aston Villa. And it is a second half substitution with Goodmanson in for Benson. It's Johan Berg, Goodmanson, Icelandic international, 32 years old. He'll have a job to do, possibly inserted straight away on the right-hand sides. 37 games and 4 goals last season. Burnley on the attack through Koleosho down the left. He's managed to weave his way in between two, opens up space, the shot comes, and it's headed away, only as far as Berger. Goes back for a ball to the back post again. Some space there for Foster, who scores in the first 90 seconds of the second half, left foot volley. He was able to use his physical strength to shield the ball away from the defender. What a start this is for the home side. The first goal for Burnley FC at home and the return to the Premier League. Unai Emery, and he's applauding. I'm not sure if he's offering encouragement or a bit of sarcasm there, but a good header back in, and Foster was able to shield the advances of the defender. Ball came over the top. Digne couldn't keep the ball away, neither could Pau Torres. The header coming back in from Goodmanson, who technically has an assist to his name as soon as the second half substitution was made. Olsen diving to his right to try and stop that volley from going in. There was enough power on it to beat the Swedish goalkeeper. And Johan Berg, Goodmanson, headers inside for Lyle Foster, who's been the biggest threat, that's for sure, for Burnley. So the game is back on. The best chance of the game coming for Burnley. The start of the second half. So from the kickoff, Villa have it in their back thirds. Torres is able to shake off Goodmanson, who came forward. Ball's won again. Koleosho pulled down. Free kick. That's going against Kamara. Koleosho, what a find he's been. For just €3 million he's come in. Now Villa still heavy favourites to win this one. For Burnley to find a couple of goals, it's a big task, especially against a compact-looking Aston Villa. But the first goal upon their return, not just here at home, but for the season. It's only their second game. Now Koleosho, burning the pace down the left side. He's lightning quick when he gets going, the 18-year-old. He's won a corner for his club. Kompany is pacing nervously. Bit of nervous energy is always good. It means that you care. Koleosho was able to get around Cash. Across came the defensive effort from Konsar. Goodmanson now, second half substitution, is going to take this corner. Everybody coming up, including Foster, the goal scorer. Also Al-Dakhil, the centre half, is in there. Referee today is Michael Salisbury, just having a chat with Al-Dakhil and the other player Looks as though it's Douglas Luiz. And it comes from Goodmanson. The volley comes again. First time it's hooked over the top of Robin Olsen's goal. They're starting to look a little more dangerous than Hannes de Croo this time. But the first left foot volley from Foster went in. This one coming with some good pressure coming from the Aston Villa defence. Forced him to go. Just mistimed his volley. Robin Olsen spares his blushes for the second time in a few minutes. Didn't have to pick the ball out of the back of the net. 5 minutes of the second half gone. It is Burnley 1, Aston Villa 2. It brought a little more chaos to the second half, Burnley. We've got Aston Villa in all sorts in the opening few minutes. Unai Emery asking for more from his players. He wants maximum concentration. 3 points here is what he's expecting. You lose 5-1 on opening day away at Newcastle. 2 of your first 3 games are away. Burnley's always going to be tricky. Vincent Kompany did say before the game he expects Burnley to be able to hurt Villa when given the chance. And they finally had that chance. And it is Lyle Foster. Now Villa coming forward in transition once again. Matty Cash had the pass put through for him. He's run out of puff. Koleosho seems like he's got the nuclear energy. Lovely defensive work from Diego Carlos. Launches long though. That's picked up quite easily by Del Croo. Back for Trafford. There's a proud air of confidence. Perhaps there was a few groans from the touchline from the home supporters here at Turf Moor as they head off into the dressing rooms. The first time ball out to the right side. Goodmanson tripped over. Play on though. It's a 50-50 challenge. As Douglas Luiz needs some help, goes out to the left side. McGinn out for Digne. Back for Douglas Luiz. Will try a ball over the top, intended for Diaby. Doesn't sit for Watkins. The second ball, and Burnley out of trouble. Can mix it up and go down the left again. Koleosho wants to go inside Cash. Roberts has found himself on the left side. He's been given that semi-creative license, I guess. It is the Pep Guardiola 3-2-5 transition in the positional play. Now Burnley with Sunderberg into the half space. He's able to cut it back. Koleosho was there. Didn't get there first. Cleared away by Villa. And they survive. Burnley looking for the equaliser in the 54th minute here through Sunderberg. Decent defending by Konsa. Just doing enough to keep his balance, keep his footing. The game has lit up now. Ball coming to over the back. The lovely effort to just get the ball to drop between Olsen and Pau Torres. But nobody able to actually get the vital touch through. Josh Cullen looked as though he might have got there. Indeed, he did get the first touch on the ball. Robin Olsen is able to claim it though. It's actually Amdouni who was up there. Pau Torres put the ball high and away. Burnley with a throw in the attacking half right side of the pitch. A score check at Sheffield United. Erling Haaland missing a penalty in the first half in the 37th minute. Still 0-0. Wouldn't that be an upset even to take 2 points away from the hot favourites to win another Premier League? It's almost a Celtic situation. here in England. Unai Emery joining Villa in 2022. Those of you will remember him from his time at Arsenal. Some of you may remember it from La Liga in Sevilla or Villarreal. Spent some time in France with PSG. In the first half he had Villa in blistering form. Now it's through Boubacar Kamara. Douglas Luiz threads a ball through. Here's Diaby in the left half space. Cash was lined up for his hat-trick. Couldn't get there. Burnley tracking him. Able to make sure he couldn't get the side footer on the ball to hammer it past Trafford again. McGinn will try a cross in for Watkins. And the service just not good enough. Watkins looking to score here for 3 visits in a row. Aston Villa coming off the back of the 4-0 win at home. That was the 8th consecutive home league win. It's a club record, and Unai Emery will always have that until further notice. Villa with a win here would get up into 6th place, joint with Brighton and Manchester United. 6 points from the opening 3 rounds. Not the worst case scenario considering the 4-goal hammering to Newcastle United. And Newcastle United playing Liverpool just after this game. Now Burnley through Koleosho again. Chest down first time. Plays the ball through. Here's Berger. Needs a half a yard more pace, you'd think. Koleosho waiting on the perimeter. Wants the 1-2. Won't get it back. There's a cluster of Villa defenders. They come to the rescue. They combine. The ball put forward again by Delcroix and Pau Torres. Desperate launch in the direction of Diaby. He was taken down after he hit the ball forward though. How long can Burnley maintain this kind of quality of football? Amdouni is fouled, Pau Torres. So that's a duel that we'll have to watch as the half wears on. 2 yellow cards for Burnley in the first half. 2 goals for Villa. 1 change at the break. Gudmundsson in for Benson. And that paid off straight away. Gudmundsson's header back for Lyle Foster to drive in a left-footed volley from about, let's say, 9 or 10 yards in line with the right post. Hooked it past Olsen. And now Olsen has to find some help. They've allowed the Norwegian to get it. Sanderberger wins a corner. Lacking a little bit of coherence here. Unai Emery's side, and I think Vincent Kompany can sniff blood. The pass back was Kamara. Then he thought there was a defender in support. Kamara dished it off so Berg could get to the byline, and the Norwegian wins a corner for Burnley, left side of the pitch. 59th minute of play. Can they get the equaliser? Olsen stays at home. The header comes. Olsen saves. It was a deep corner, and Delcroix was there looking for his first ever goal for the club. Found some free space about 13 yards away from the goal. It was harrowing in. Powerful header into the bottom left corner, but Olsen was able to watch it onto his right glove. And since then, Burnley are on the attack once again. Gudmundsson on the left. The only target inside was Foster. And he's been the most lively, along with Koleosho. But Foster has the goal, and that is his first of the campaign. Scored 1 goal last season. And 11 appearances. Scored 8 the season before at Westerlo. In the first half of last season, I should say. 4 the season before that. Spent some time in Portugal with Vitória Guimarães. He's only 22. Big talent. Cercle Bruges as well. Monaco. Orlando Pirates is where he began back in 2017. Now McGinn puts Digne under pressure. Villa finds space through Matty Cash on a hat-trick. Fires at goal. Goes straight into the back of Connor Roberts. One hour gone here at Turf Moor. Connor Roberts has shifted out to left back for this second half. Del Croix may have gone to the right side, and is that something that Burnley are looking to use as a weapon? Villa coming forward. McGinn squares it up. Big chance. Diaby makes it 3-1. No mistake from the Frenchman. The club record signing gets the 2-goal advantage back for Aston Villa. They found space and they took full advantage to hammer home. Bottom right corner, left-footed finish. Moussa Diaby with his second of the campaign. Big start to life in England. 9 goals in the Bundesliga last season and 8 assists. He's on target to beat that this term. From the edge of the box, he was left all alone. Initially it was McGinn, threaded the ball through for Digne. He squared it up. Diaby arrived from one Frenchman to the other and to the bottom corner past James Trafford. Just when Burnley were looking really good, Villa have hurt them. It's the goal check happening here. And we're good to go for the kickoff. Burnley 1, Aston Villa 3. The 4th goal of the game. Diaby in the 61st minute. Matty Cash on a hat-trick. Villa fans joining in the Lions with 3 goals. Now Douglas Lewis finding space. He's got Watkins running one way, Diaby the other. Confusion for the Burnley defence, but soaked up by Del Croix, who looks as though he's playing at left centre-back now. McGinn collects in the attacking half. Over the top it goes for Digne. Lovely ball. Big chance for Watkins, except it's cut off by Del Croix, who's having a big second half. He's had an effort at goal down the other end as well. But he's taken his starting debut. First half, you wouldn't say he was brilliant, but second half, definitely. Now Koleosha, offside. Flag goes up. He's just mistimed that. Otherwise, he was out the back. But he was out wide on the left. So it's back to 2 goals. Villa back in charge. Score check in the other game. It is still 0-0 between Sheffield United and Manchester City. Villa with a game coming up on the 31st of August midweek against Hibernian. That's at home. Lovely finish from Diaby. James Trafford beaten for the 3rd time. Villa looking good to make some substitutions now, you'd think. They might put some of the second string players in for the game against the Scottish side, Hibernian, midweek. It depends on the priorities from Unai Emery. I think it's established they're going through to the group stage of the Conference League pending some kind of miracle of epic proportions. The seas would have to part in Birmingham for Hibernian to somehow overcome that 5-goal deficit. They have lost their coach as well. The fixtures coming up for Villa. The next game is away in the Premier League against Liverpool, and they're back at home against Palace. So they could make it 9 in a row to extend that club record of home wins. 65th minute now, and Villa through the midfield with Diaby. He runs through towards Del Croix, ships it out to Matty Cash, who just lay it off delicately Inbound is Kamara. As for Burnley, they've got Nottingham Forest in the League Cup, and then it's a home match back here against Tottenham. Now, they are languishing down the bottom of the Premier League, but they do have that game in hand against Luton Town, which many would favour Burnley to get a win in those circumstances. Now McGinn again. Constructed the goal for Diaby by sending Digne through. Now Digne again hovering on the edge of the box. Burnley can tidy up at the back. Josh Cullen very deep, helping out his defenders. Who will make the next change, Company or Emery? The former Toledo Leganes and Real Sociedad player, Unai Emery, played as a midfielder in the lower leagues. Started off with Sociedad as a youngster. He knows Pau Torres well from his coaching stint at Villarreal. Ball sent forward into the back of Foster. Some decent defending by Pau Torres. Now Diaby linking up with McGinn, sending Diaby through down the left touchline. About 20 yards out. The ball comes in. Big chance for Watkins. What a save that is from James Trafford to deny Watkins his opening goal of the campaign. Splendid ball in from the left, must be said. Real purpose about Villa whenever they get the ball to Diaby. Burnley looking to just clog up the space around the likes of Diaby, and Watkins has left enough space for the likes of Matty Cash in the first half, and it's his 2-goal contribution effectively which is the difference. Now Koleosho wants to bend one in. It's hit a player and he's upset with himself there. He's a big talent. Diaby's ball in. He had to send that in pinpoint to the 6-yard line. It was a daisy cutter along the ground. Sunderberger will make way here. Now there's an opportunity here for Aaron Ramsey, the English Aaron Ramsey that is. Don't make that same mistake. Also Redmond coming on. Aaron Ramsey, 20-year-old midfielder. He's an Englishman. He's come over from Norwich, where he scored 3 times in 18 appearances last term with 3 assists. And then he went off to Middlesbrough, scored 5 times with 1 assist in 11 appearances. Started off with Aston Villa, so he's up against his former sides. 69th minute of play. It is Burnley 1, Aston Villa 3. Burnley on the attack, right side with a throw. Diaby can intercept though, and he's sent over by Cullen. And Cullen already on a yellow. Has to be more careful in those circumstances. The last thing the public here at Turf Moor want to see is Josh Cullen sent from the pitch. So Ramsey coming through for about £15 million. Joins Trafford, who cost a little bit more. And Dooney was the most expensive at £16.5 million. Sunderberg at about £13 million, along with Odobert, O'Shea at about £6.5 million. And Obafemi also costing money, along with Delcroix and Koleosho. Now Villa through Cash. He's been taken down, but he's given away a free kick there. Burnley can come away through Redmond. He's playing down the left side at this point. Wants to slip a ball through. Got to the edge of the box. Cleaned up by Boubacar Kamara. And Villa wanting to get away through Cash. He was blocked in his run as he gave the pass for the give and go. Didn't come off. Redmond again, out on the left. He's come into this game now 3-1 as Kolyosho and Berger came from the pitch. So Cullen's still out there. Berger, the other player to be yellow carded in the first half. Villa coming forward again. Watkins dished it off, and the ball couldn't be squared across the other side. Burnley survives. Redmond again on the ball. Some fresh legs is exactly what they need, but they need some fresh ideas. The Clarets. Ramsey in possession. Here's Delacroix back out on the left side of defence. Redmond has Cash coming towards him, about 20 yards out, but wide out on the left. Wants to get into the half space. Can't put a ball over the top now. Everyone's offside for Burnley. Dealt with quite easily for Villa. Again, it's the clarity in the way that they defend. Once they get in front, it's so difficult. Redmond once again, a low ball in this time, and put into the stands. Diego Carlos. Another change. This is the debut for Nicolo Zaniolo, the Italian international, about to make his debut for Unai Emery and Aston Villa. Big moment, and really could be a big player for them this season. Moussa Diaby given a rest. The number 19 gets his second goal of the campaign, gets Aston Villa back out to a 2-goal advantage. There is daylight still, and the talented Mr. Zaniolo comes in. There's some disciplinary issues, not just with Roma, with Jose Mourinho, but also with Roberto Mancini's national team setup, with the Lazio player Zaccagni coming to blows at training. But Nicolo Zaniolo, 24 years old, welcome to the Premier League. He's come over from the Turkish Superliga, where he scored 5 times last season in that team that features former Napoli legend Dries Mertens. There's an offside flag against Burnley here. And Zaniolo, with good pace, he'll be looking to exploit Burnley as they get more desperate for a goal. He will be able to get things happening. Perhaps he and Watkins can link up. He started his career with the Inter under-19 setup. He was part of the Nainggolan deal that sent Nainggolan from Roma to Inter. Zaniolo part of that deal, and started off with Entella, which is a side from North Italy, back when he was a teenager, just as Kolyosho is here. Kolyosho has left the pitch though for Redmond. Now Aston Villa sends a long ball over. Zaniolo with his first touch can get through and have a shot at goal. Zaniolo! Somehow Trafford has pulled off a save in the 75th minute, needed to square the ball up for Watkins, but he was sent through with a glorious ball over the top. Zaniolo into space as he steamed down into the box. Could have gone to Watkins as Trafford came over to cut off the angle. Big moment for Zaniolo. Got a little shove in the back. He went for the near right post. Player got a deflection on the ball. That's a corner for Villa. Nearly the perfect start for the Italian, who spent 3.5 years with Roma. Best season of 6 goals and 2 assists in 2019-20 before getting a couple of injuries, a couple of ACLs. So that's why he's on loan. They haven't gone for the option to purchase. Now Villa from the short corner. Cash on the hat-trick, goes at goal with a volley, smacks into a Burnley defender, and we'll have another Villa corner. City have finally hit the front, and it is Erling Haaland with a Grealish assist. Haaland missing a penalty in the first half of that game. And Cash volleyed in towards goal. It hit Amdouni in the side of the body, and they're just doing a quick penalty check to see if it hit his arm. It did not. And again, we'll have a Villa corner from the other side as good defensive work from Foster saw it out as the deep cross came in over Trafford towards Diego Carlos. What a game this has turned out to be. Turf Moor, despite being down by a couple of goals, they've been thoroughly entertained with some brilliant football. So this time coming in from the left side. Came to the head of Lewis again. Settled down by McGinn. Out to the left it goes. They knocked the ball back in. It went in and Diego Carlos was awaiting. Burnley clear. Also got some La Liga coming for you at 4:30 GMT. Villarreal, Barcelona. And later tonight I'll be taking you through Napoli Sassuolo at 7:45 PM GMT. Bundesliga also at 4:30 PM live on Flash Score. Bayern Munich, Augsburg. There's a fight for the ball right in the middle, and Villa will win that. McGinn went to ground, plays it quickly. Goes out towards Kamara. Zaniolo on the ball. About 40 yards away on the right-hand side of the pitch. Back in for Kamara. Douglas Luiz finds Zaniolo on the angle. Wants the 1-2 with Watkins. Instead it goes back for Kamara. Zaniolo a few metres away. Now Cash. Burnley doing well to just close down some space between the lines. Villa with a right-sided tilt, but there is a man very deep on the left. The ball finally comes over the top from Watkins. The run into the middle from McGinn. Watkins wants it. What can he build here? Kamara has to hook it back for his defenders. Did magnificently well to win that back for Villa. Otherwise Burnley could have been away with the overload in midfield, but it's all about how you use the ball in those situations when you're breaking from your own half. Despite Foster's goal, Aston Villa resolute in defence. Quite shrewd in attack, and here they come again. Watkins gets a right footer towards goal, and it's smacked straight into Dara O'Shea. Bounces back. Villa with a good spell of possession. Zaniolo could fire in if he wants. Goes for the chip over the top, and it's well wide of Watkins. Tried to chip it with his left boot. Went to the advantage of James Trafford, but that is some of the creative genius that Zaniolo brings. He's very, very good in those situations where he's sent through. But this time, he waited a little too long to strike at goal. His first touch in the Premier League could have been a goal. We've seen the start for Sandro Tonali since leaving Milan for Newcastle. A devastating effect against Villa, turning home in the 6th minute of the season. That was at St James's. Now it's Digne out on the left. Happy just to control play and the tempo of the game, Aston Villa. City still leading in Sheffield. And so far for Unai Emery, just the one change. 3 for Vincent Kompany. Said it was always going to be a big test. We spent money in the summer, but what Premier League team doesn't spend money? Now Matty Cash goes a goal! And that has sailed just inches wide of the right post from an angle. He wants his hat-trick. The Polish international. He was set free by the wonderful work from Zaniolo. Went through the legs of a defender. Then he found Cash, who struck the ball. I'd say it's about a 30-degree angle. Attempting to drive that into the top corner. Time for more changes, though. Traore is coming on for Digne. And the other 2 changes also coming. As Digne leaves the field, Traore comes in. He wears the number 9. Rodriguez is going to come on. So Bertrand Traore, the Burkina Faso man, is in for his first of the season. Scored 2 goals in 8 appearances last term since leaving his loan spell at Basak Shehir. The other players to go off. Lyle Foster, the goal scorer for Burnley, comes off for Jay Rodriguez. 34-year-olds. 28 games last season for 10 goals and 2 assists. So that's Rodriguez's first involvement. Now Zaniolo with a volley. Fires that over the top. He's looking so dangerous whenever he gets forwards. He's apologetic to his teammates. He could have passed again, but he did the high offensive work in the attacking third. Won the ball back. Deserved to have a shot at goal. Now it looked like it might have taken a touch, but it's a goal kick for James Trafford. Broom Larson also in for Nduni by the look of it. Is there another goal in this game? Fancy one for Burnley, just to see if they could snatch something at the end. That's from a neutral standpoint, of course. Danish midfielder Brun Larsen is in. It's his second since joining the club. Came over from Hoffenheim. Another player who's been through Belgium with Anderlecht. Dortmund Junior. You can see all that on the Flash Score app. Now Ramsey out for Brun Larsen. Switch play out to the right side. Now Burnley looking to attack. They need to cut it back over the heads of a couple of players. One of them was Jay Rodriguez, the other Larsen. The ball will come back with interest. Sent in by Roberts. Burnley looking to just bring it down, keep possession. That's good work from Gudmundsson. In it comes again, straight to Robin Olsen at the near post from the right side. So Brun Larsen looks like he's playing at left midfield, along with Redmond. Aaron Ramsey into the middle for Berger. Gudmundsson out on the right side. So Kompany's tinkered with his team today. But it's because Unai Emery has forced him into making some of these changes. And I should emphasise it is the first 20 minutes of the game in which Matty Cash was able to get on the score sheet twice. Just a stunning effort from the Polish international. And now it's Rodriguez trying to test out Robin Olsen. 85th minute strike. And it goes a little high, a little wide. He was onside as well. And who was keeping him onside? Looking for a Premier League goal. Jay Rodriguez wearing the number 9. It was about half a yard over the top of goal, and Company is devastated on the touchline. They knew that the space was there. Rodriguez wanted to turn and shoot immediately. Watkins leaves the pitch. He won't get a goal to make it 3 goals in 3 visits. Tielemans will come in. Free signing from Leicester. Douglas Luiz is one of the other players to come off. Duran coming in as he did last weekend against Everton. Colombian 19-year-old striker. So he'll play up forward with Zaniolo and Traore. Traore looking as though he's been positioned on the right side of midfield. Burnley with the ball on the halfway line, going from right to left in the second half. They've got 5 minutes plus added time. Make that 4.5 minutes actually. It's gone out from Delcroix. He's had a reasonable game. Now the ball fed through. Redmond won't get there. It looks as though he's switched to a central position now that the likes of Brun Larsen's come in. Burnley still with it. Redmond trying to take on 2. Cash is there though. Looks as though he's playing a left-sided role now in the dying minutes. Digne's gone off, so Cash has been switched. It'd be nice if we can get an inverted run in and slot one into the top corner to make it a hat-trick in his 100th Aston Villa appearance. Out comes Trafford. A calm pass. Looking composed. And if you block out those first 20 minutes, it's been fairly even. Now here's Rodriguez. Needs to cut it back. Well, Olsen had to flap at the ball and he sends it behind. Panic stations for Aston Villa as Rodriguez found space up against the byline, but he's offside. Olsen wasn't to know. Yes, Rodriguez just starting a little early to get past Pau Torres. It went back into the Spanish defender. Olsen pushed it behind. Would have been at best. It was deviating from Pau Torres in at the near post, and Olsen reacted quite well. So we've seen 4 changes for Aston Villa. Tielemans, Duran, Traore and Zaniolo. Redmond kicks it out to Roberts. Need an option back into the middle. It comes! The header from Rodriguez has gone wide to the left of goal. Can you believe that after all the hard work? The big striker. He's looked really lively. He's been kept on by his opposite number. The number 9 of Aston Villa is Traore. He's back there on the right side of defence. Rodriguez came. He had to outmuscle 2 opponents, which he did. Olsen came off his line. The empty goal was there, but it's a goal kick for Robin Olsen. And Villa should be able to see off everything else. Even if Burnley get another goal, Villa should be able to stumble home. And to be fair, from the other perspective, Zaniolo could have scored with his first touch of the game to make it 4-1. Delcroix. Now O'Shea. Chip out towards Larsen. He's up against Traore. Traore wants a handball given against Larsen. Doesn't get it. Now Delcroix. Belgian left back. Never scored for the Burnley senior side. Never scored for his former side Anderlecht. Would be as unlikely as Matty Cash getting a brace. So nothing's impossible here at Turf Moor. 30 seconds to go in regulation time. Ball fed through. Won't sit nicely for Redmond. It's back with Consar. Now it's Diego Carlos. Villa will go down the left side. Duran was there, but he can't stop that ball from going out. Unai Emery wants maximum concentration for the remainder of the game. These are elite athletes. Shouldn't be languishing at any point, you'd think, with today's methods of training, all the facilities. It's been almost effortless from the likes of Diaby. Matty Cash has at times looked out of puff, but when you're a winger, you need to make all those runs up and down the touchline. Burnley with one last push. It's come to nothing, but Monson can't keep that in. So Cullen's still out there. He's done well to keep his place out there. Had a close call for a second yellow card. Traore going back towards his own keeper. They've given the ball away. Picked up by Connor Roberts. Now in for Cullen. Goodmanson out to the right side they go. Five minutes of stoppages. We've already had a minute. Delcroix goes out wide to Larson. Getting back is Traore though. Delcroix given some time and space. Only looking to build. They're about 35 yards out from goal. Cullen can open it up. Aston Villa doing so well to track back. That is beautiful work from Duran with McGinn. They combine. Duran's away down the left. Zaniolo getting forward. The other option for Duran. He's trying to get it to the back post for Zaniolo. It was Tielemans who was a... Still one more change for Unai Emery if he wants to make it. Sheffield United have scored, but then Rodri scored 3 minutes after. That's 2-1 for City. But Bogle, Jayden Bogle, the defender, scored to make it 1-1. 88th minute goal from Rodri with Foden. So Rodri, somewhat of a match winner for the citizens these days. Second goal of his campaign in 3 appearances. City should be able to hold on, you would think. 2 minutes to go in stoppages here. Konsar gets the ball from Olsen. Zaniolo getting deep. Now he can settle the ball down in the centre of the pitch. Pau Torres. Really good debut for Zaniolo, despite having a shot that was blocked as he hit it. Got to about 8 yards. Burnley able to get back. That's a really good hustle from Larson. Feeds it inside. He won the ball back from Traore. Larson now needs to beat the last defender. Across with a sliding challenge is Diego Carlos. Doesn't want any more damage done to Aston Villa's goal. They won't get the clean sheet. Terrific strike from Lyle Foster to pull it back to 2-1 very early in the second half, within 90 seconds. We'll have a look with a little bit of time remaining at the stats. XG now up for Burnley to 0.63, but it's 2.11 for Villa, who are happy to have a little less possession just to hold their shape, be cohesive, and it's been intelligent football from Unai Emery once again. Learning curve for Vincent Kompany continues. Free kick for Burnley, and it comes from Goodmanson on the left foot from about 40 yards. Redmond gets a touch. Traore can send through. One last chance. Out comes Trafford though. Otherwise Duran was away for a one-on-one. It was good vision by the young English goalkeeper. Last few seconds. Villa sending it forward for Zaniolo. Back is the number 2, Dara O'Shea. The Irishman smashes it into the stands of Turf Moor, where referee Michael Salisbury needs to check his watch. Villa with the throw. And Villa with the 3 points here. The 3 goals as well for Unai Emery. A brace for Matty Cash at full time. It is Burnley 1, Aston Villa 3. 8th minute, 20th minute for Matty Cash. Was on the hat-trick for the rest of the game. Came close to getting it, just couldn't get it. Burnley with a reply just after the break through Lyle Foster. Lovely left-footed drive past Robin Olsen. But then it was Moussa Diaby to make it 2 goals for his first ever English Premier League campaign. Aston Villa deserved winners. Zaniolo could have made it 4-1 in his debut, and they will now move on to play Hibernian midweek Conference League qualifiers. Then they will take on Liverpool at Anfield next weekend. For Burnley, they've got a date midweek with Nottingham Forest in the Cup, and then a home game here at Turf Moor against Tottenham Hotspur. So that will be Vincent Kompany against Ange Postecoglou. We thank you for joining us. Do check out all the stats on the Flash Score app and website, and join us a little later on for Newcastle Liverpool. We've also got Bayern against Augsburg